Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Mai, and this week's build is another one that I made in anticipation of The Sims 4 for rent. And for me, it is still in anticipation, although once I post this video, it would have already been released, meaning that this is the very first build that I get to post on the gallery as the new lot type of, I think it's just rental property. And I'm really excited about that. And as you can see, I decided to build a duplex, which if you don't know what a duplex is, my understanding is that it's just a big house that's split in two with pretty much identical sides. And I really wanted to make this like a classic, like mid-century style home that is just very nostalgic and reminiscent of houses that I very much grew up around. Each side ends up having 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, which I'm very glad that I got to fit all of those in, and I furnished each of them for 2 very specific families and storylines. And here we are starting with the first one, and the plan that I had for this was to keep it as dated as possible. I wanted it to still look like the original construction. Besides a fresh coat of paint here and there, I really wanted it to be as unrenovated as possible because I wanted the other side to have a lot more contrast with its renovations, as you will see later on. And the family that I had in mind for this one is 2 parents who I imagine one of them is maybe a teacher and the other one is a chef. And they have a teenager who perhaps they had when they were a little bit younger, and they recently had a baby who is now an infant. And I also imagined that they'd been living here for a very long time, and then recently their landlord, who previously lived on the other side of the home, decided to put the house up for sale, and they kind of decided to take the investment and put all of their savings into buying the home, both as an investment and I guess reassurance that they wouldn't be evicted or that their rent wouldn't get higher. And I guess it was just kind of like a win-win situation. But since they spent all of their savings on the house, they weren't really able to renovate it. And although they could have moved into the other side, which was already renovated by the previous landlord, they decided that they will probably be able to rent it out for more and get more money so that they can renovate their own side if they rented out the other already renovated side. I went very deep into the lore with this one. I don't know why. I think it was very overwhelming to have to think of 2 different families, so I just kind of decided to go all out. So yeah, we already finished the kitchen, we already finished the entryway, we are now in the living dining space. I used the couch, which I think the 3-seater is unlocked through the tech guru career, and I don't really remember, I used the chair from Cats and Dogs, and then the love seat might have been from Get Famous. You guys, if you watched my Fearless build, or I think I also mentioned it in my last build, which was the apartment, I have such an issue with the love seats in this game. I just really wish that there were more love seats that matched the other seats and couches. I did manage to make it work for this one, but I'm hoping that at some point we get some more love seats that match everything else. But yeah, I also mixed up a lot of the woods in this room. I used a lot of light tones, a lot of white and dark. I didn't want it to feel too matchy because I feel like with this kind of family, they kind of picked up furniture along the way. They didn't really buy a full matching set at any point. But yeah, I feel like this house really reminds me of the house that I grew up in, or at least this side of the house, and it feels all very realistic. We are starting now on the baby's room. I made it very pink. The walls, I think I put yellow, because I thought too much pink, but I really wanted to use kind of these, I think they're called the Kindermaid set or something, but I really wanted to use those. I felt like they really matched the style that I was going for in this house. And I also just really love the details that are on the purple crib. I just really like the butterflies. They're really cute. And here you'll see I move around the furniture and change the layout about 1,000,000 times. I couldn't really figure it out. There wasn't a lot of space on the floor, but I realized that we had to put both the little, the building blocks and that kind of like tummy time play mat. I don't remember what it was called, but I also wanted to put a rug, and I wanted it all to kind of work, and I also wanted the rocking chair, and there were just a lot of components. I skipped ahead to when I was decorating the walls because I fiddled around with it for I think another like 20 minutes. In the end, I think I made it work, and it ends up looking really, really cute. I love the blend of all the colors. I like that it's not super, super matchy, but it still all works harmoniously together. And here we are already on the teenager's room. This one is very blue. I made it very cluttered. I made it like this teenager is multifaceted. They're very studious, but they're also like still a little bit edgy, and they're still a teenager, and they're going to rebel a little bit. I did my best not to use everything from Pastel Pop and High School Years, but I think that that's probably the dominant packs in this room. To be fair, they are designed specifically for like the teenager style, but I really love this kind of, it's not really a feature wall, but I really love, let's call it a feature wall, this feature wall here. I love the skateboard. I love that kind of flag with the rainbow on it. And I really like the way that I made the purses hang off of kind of what would be like the last nail of the string lights. I think that it adds a really realistic touch. Like that nail was already kind of sticking out of the wall a little too much, and they decided to just hang stuff on it instead of making another hole in the wall to put a hook. So I don't know, I just thought it was kind of cool because I feel like I definitely did that when I was a teenager. And here I made the desk also feel like really cluttered and used, and I don't know, like they sit there and either study or they chat with their long distance friends or something like that. And I also added that little water bottle on the desk. I think it's from the Everyday Clutter Kit. I mean, a teenager and their water bottle, inseparable. And I also put a lot of posters on the walls, which I really love. I think it always adds a lot of realism to teenagers' rooms. And we are now on the parents' bedroom. This one I kept pretty simple. I didn't add too much clutter. But yeah, I kind of just left it feeling a little bit dated as well. I don't think that they're the kind of people that would splurge on themselves and buy a whole new bedroom set. But yeah, I think it ends up looking really cute, really cozy, and I don't know, I imagine the weirdest image that I imagine is like the kids running into the parents' room kind of when they're scared. I feel like this is a very loving parents' room, I'd say. I also added a desk here at the foot of the bed, and I think a bookshelf as well, since I'm imagining that one of the parents is a teacher. I'm going to guess that they bring a lot of work home, meaning that they need a little desk space away from all the chaos, where they can get some work done. And here in the corner, I add a plant, and I think later on, I also add a guitar. I feel like a guitar just adds a lot to a story because either it's someone who bought the guitar insisting that they were going to learn at some point and never touched it again, or they know a couple of songs and they play them on repeat and drive everybody crazy, or they actually are talented. Whatever the story is, the guitar gives you the opportunity to make one. So I just felt like it was important to add it. And here we are starting on the second side of the home. It is the modern side, the renovated side. Did I decide to make it modern just as an excuse so that I could use the new, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to say it again, the Home Chef Hustle. Oh, I got it the first try. The Home Chef Hustle kit. I think I did. I think I definitely decided to make this the renovated side so that I could use that. But in the end, I think it really worked because I think it adds like a lot of contrast to the other side, and makes it a lot more realistic. Because honestly, with the exception of my own childhood home, I feel like most of my friends' houses that were kind of like this mid-century style, they got renovated at some point and turned into more of this very modern, very sleek, very, I don't want to say basic, but more common style of kitchen. And we are finishing it up here. I add in the corner to our right a little coffee corner, and I put in like that antique coffee collection wall decoration here, because I do imagine that the people living here are kind of like pretentious coffee people. And speaking of the people living here, the storyline that I had in mind for them was that I imagine that the parents, one of them works in business management and the other one is a musician. And they recently moved here to the suburbs of Sequoia for work, I imagine. I don't know, they kind of just had to relocate for something. And yeah, I don't know, they're still settling in, they're still figuring it out, if they like it, if it's too quiet for them. And they also have a child who this child, they love space, they love school, they're very smart, they like video games, they like music, and I mean, obviously, if one of their parents is a musician, and yeah, I don't know how well they're settling in. Maybe with the whole video games thing, they kind of spend their time playing video games online with their friends from back home. I don't know, you do with that storyline what you will, but that's kind of how I furnished their room. I made it very space themed and a lot of video games. Now, bringing the focus back into the living room, here at the end, I made this whole media center using things from the Dream Home Decorator, I think it's game pack, and I really like it. I added that little yellow taxi decoration at the front because I thought, they're coming from the city, maybe a little bit of nostalgia. They brought back a little souvenir, and yeah, here I also put in that record player, which it's so sleek. It's so cool. I think it's from the Modern Luxe kit. I love it. And I wish that we had more things kind of like that. And yeah, I put in this little koi painting from City Living and just kind of an entryway table back here. You can't really fit a lot, but I just tried to make it look nice. And here we are in the entryway. I really like the way the entryway looks. I'm not really good at making entryways, but I think that this one actually turned out looking really cool and very like on theme with the rest of it. I love how I put that mirror kind of like asymmetrical with the dresser, just on one side, and I think it looks really cool because I don't usually do that. I don't know, I'm just really proud of this entryway, and I use this rug from, I think it's the Jungle Adventure game pack, which I kind of shocked that I used it here because I don't know, I just didn't think that that would be the rug that actually works in this space and with this style of home. And here we are putting some more curtains up at the front, which I was kind of frustrated because it left like a really big space on the wall, but I think I made it work in the end. And here we are moving on to the kids' bedroom, which surprisingly came together super fast. I think once I had like that loft bed, and I knew that I really wanted it to be like space themed, and like I just kind of had the personality of the kid living here. I had it down. Everything just came together. I knew what colors I needed, and I don't know, it just kind of worked. And the colors are quite dark because they like space so much. I imagine that the parents kind of spoiled them a little bit, to kind of bribe them to move. And that's why they have I used a lot of the media centers from Tiny Living. It has like the TV, and I think that bookshelf also has like a stereo in it. And I don't know, it just ends up looking snazzy. It's not a word I use very often, but for a kid's bedroom, this kid is spoiled. And I really love that I put this magazine, it's kind of like a gaming magazine, and I put it next to their bed, but then I put a science one next to, the science one on their desk. So the parents only see the science one, but really they love reading about their games. And the second bedroom of this, in this side of the house, I actually made into an office space instead of another bedroom. And I think it worked out really well because I imagine that the musician parent needs a room to do their music. And I made that little corner using the amps also from the Mosquito pack, which don't actually function like amps. I think they're just kind of like a stereo item. But I think that it's just perfect for that space, and it really like rounds out that corner. I don't know, it just like the shape of it just turns out so well there. But yeah, I just really love how sophisticated this entire room looks. Here, I love that little tray with the book and the mug. I think it's from Book Nook Kit, and it's like my favorite clutter item at this point. I'm pretty sure I put it in every single build. And I also really love the wall decorations that I put here above the piano or above the keyboard. I think that the magazine publications, they just, I don't know, they really tell the story. And I don't know, it just turns out really great. Here we are on the last bedroom, which is the parents' bedroom. And this room actually, it turns out quite different from the rest of the house. I think I usually try to make the master bedroom like different, but at least have a little bit of influence from the rest of the build, because, you know, since the parents are usually the ones decorating it, usually their bedroom matches more. But this one looks a little bit different. I think it's a lot warmer than the rest of it. And I don't really know the story behind that. I didn't really figure that out myself. I just felt like I wanted this room to be a little bit cozier than the rest of the house. The rest of the house is like a lot harsher, a little bit colder, and I just wanted that one to be different. But anyways, here we are on the backyard. We will see the other backyard as well. I just forgot to do it while I was finishing the other house. But yeah, back here in the modern side, I just put like a barbecue, an eating area, a little bike for the kid, and a telescope, because you can't love space and not have a telescope, especially if you're spoiled. But anyways, back on the other side, I don't really know the teacher chef side. I didn't really give them names. So, but anyways, back on the other family's side of the house, I put in just a little picnic bench. I also put in a grill, but one that's obviously a little bit more dated. And here on the shelf above the grill, I put in just a couple of clutter items. Whenever items don't fit on a shelf that I'm using or a surface, I use that kind of blocky one from high school years, or I think there's also like a similar one from Dream Home Decorator, and I just place it on that and just like slide it over to the other one using Move Objects. But yeah, I put a little garden space here as well, and I also put like a little sprinkler for the kids to play. Okay, now this is probably the most controversial part of the house. I decided to put the laundry space in the fake garage. I've seen this before where there's kind of like outdoor laundry. I don't know if you have, but I just thought it was going to be a really cool detail. I don't know. I thought it was going to be interesting. Hopefully they live in like a safe neighborhood where nobody's going to come steal their washer dryer. At least, yeah, that's kind of just what I'm imagining. But I don't know. I just thought that it would add something really cool, maybe be a little bit different. On the other side, I was going to do the same thing. And then I felt like maybe during one of the renovations, they decided to bring the laundry inside. And I decided to cut a little bit out of the office and place this stacked washer dryer instead. And then in their garage, I added just some shelves with some storage. And then I also went into the Live Edit Objects menu and I found this fake car to put in there as well. I think it also just kind of pushes that idea that this side is maybe a little bit fancier, wealthier. But yeah, hopefully soon we'll get some functional cars. But anyways, we are finally in the screenshots. Here you can see some of the landscaping that I did at the front, and just some of those last little details that I added off camera. I just love how realistic the exterior looks, and even the backyard, I added like those gutters between the two houses as well. And here you can see a little bit of the entryway to the first side, and I added a little bit of clutter in the entryway as well, and kind of that little shelf to make the entry through the garage a little bit more mudroomy. And yeah, I put in some puzzles on the coffee table. I just feel like it adds such a realistic touch, and I added also that hutch and some like frames for family photos. It really completes this whole, I don't know, this whole house, this whole side, and I added even some recipe books since one of the parents is a chef, and a lunchbox as well next to the sink. So, I imagine that maybe they're cleaning it out. Here's just the hallway that goes to all of the bedrooms. Here is the bathroom. I didn't include it in the video, but here you can see it in the screenshots. A little bit of clutter on the counter with some toothbrushes, and I don't know, it feels really warm and nice. Here is the infant's room. It's very pink and very happy, I think, very colorful, which I think is really, really sweet. And finally, the parents' room as well. I added some clutter on their desk, and there you can see the guitar that really comes with a whole lot of baggage. And here is the parents' bathroom. I took the screenshot from inside the shower so you could see it all. And of course, the teenagers' room, which I think I can confidently say is my favorite room in this house, or at least in this side. You know what? No, it's my favorite room in the house. I think it's also just very colorful, very fun, very youthful. And here we can also see just a couple of screenshots from their backyard. I can definitely see the family playing out here quite a bit, and of course their laundry garage space. I just think it's a really cool idea. And here we have the little porch that goes into the other family's house. Here's the entryway that I'm very, very proud of. I love how open plan it is. I added like that little yoga mat at the front. And yeah, here is their living dining area with a lot more clutter, a lot more decorations, and I don't know, it feels very modern, very, very, very nice, very sleek and clean. And I love that like bowl of lemons. I don't know why they added that, but I don't know, it's trendy now, and they'd be the family that's like, oh, don't eat the lemons, they're just there for a pop of color. And here is the hallway that goes into the bathroom and the bedrooms. Here is the main bathroom, which very much matches the rest of the house. It's very modern, very dark, probably a bit too dark for my liking, but I think it works for this family. And here is the kids' room with a lot of extra clutter. And I really love the purple video game console, and of course a little taxi to remind them of the big city. And here we have the parents' office and the music corner. And I love that sports jersey. I think it looks very sleek and very cool and modern. And the milk crate's full of vinyls. You can't be a musician without a milk crate full of vinyls. And here's the master bathroom, which I also decided to take the screenshot from inside the shower. And the parents' room, which is probably not my favorite room in the house. I think it's definitely not my favorite room in the house. However, I do like that it brings a little bit of warmth to the otherwise very cold and dark house. And here is a little shot of the backyard, although I don't really imagine that they're yard people. And here, of course, is the mostly decorative garage, which does bring us to the last few shots of the exterior. I am so excited to get my hands on the new pack, both to play and to make some awesome new builds for you guys. Bye buds, and thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, comment and share with your friends. I'll talk to you soon. Bye!